Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about the slip and slide method to factor a trinomial where our lead coefficient is greater than 1. So it looks like the work we did yesterday, except that these lead coefficients are not 1 anymore. So it makes life a little harder. Now, back in the old days when I was in school, we just made lists and lists and tried and guessed and tried and guessed. Not very efficient. So we came up with this new method called slip and slide. Here are your 7 steps. First, you multiply the coefficient of the squared number, or your lead coefficient, by the constant. Then you get slips to become the new constant, and the number before the square term disappears. So you slip it to the back. Okay? Then factor the new trinomial. Divide the constants in the parentheses by the original coefficient. Reduce the fractions created in step 4. Any denominators left slide over to be the coefficients of the same parentheses, and then check with FOIL. It sounds really confusing, and at first it's going to look confusing. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So, let me walk you through the examples. Your lead coefficient's greater than 1. So you take it, you multiply it by your constant. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. You factor this. Okay, it factors into x minus 6 and x plus 1. Then, what did you slip to the back? A 2. So now you got to slip it back in. Okay, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. 1 divided by 2 doesn't go in. So notice I keep the 1 and I slide the 2 forward in front of the variable. Okay, let's try example 2. 6 times 10 is 60. Factor 60. Okay, so they said 15 and 4. You're going to have to slip the 6 back in. 15 doesn't go into 6 evenly, but I can reduce it. So I reduce this fraction into 5 over 2. I reduce this fraction into 2 over 3. Then I keep the 5 and I slide the 2 forward. I keep the 2, I slide the 3 forward. Now if I was going to FOIL it to check, 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x. 5 times 3x is 15x. And 5 times 2 is 10. So I have 6x squared plus 19x plus 10, which is exactly what I started with. So I have factored it correctly. Okay, you ready to give it a shot? All right. So 3 times negative 8. Okay, now I'm going to factor the trinomial that's here. So I'm going to use a negative 12, a positive 12, and a negative 2. Positive 12 plus a negative 2 gives me 10. Positive 12 times negative 2 gives me 24. Negative 24. That's from our last lesson. So I'm going to write that out just like I would in our last lesson. X plus 12, x minus 2. So again, negative 2 times 12 is negative 24. 12 minus 2 is 10, or 12 plus negative 2 is 10. Now I need to take my lead coefficient and put it back over this, or underneath this constant. So I write it underneath. Now, if I can divide evenly, I divide evenly. If I can't divide evenly, I reduce. Okay, 3 does go into 12 evenly. So that's finished. Over here, 3 does not go into 2 evenly, so I slide the 3 forward, and the 2 stays. So if I FOILed it, x times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. 4 times 3x is 12x, and the 12x combined with the negative 2x is 10x, and 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So this is my answer. Okay, I checked it through FOIL in my head. If you can't FOIL in your head, then just write it out on your paper. So let's try another one. 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm going to rewrite this. Okay, so now I want to multiply to 12. I'm thinking 3 and 4, where my 4 is negative. So let's try it out. 9 minus 4. Sorry, 9. How about n? Duh. Made too many videos today. N plus 3. Let's just check it quick. N times n is n squared. Then you're going to get 3n, and you're going to get negative 4n, which is going to combine to give you negative 1n. And negative 4 times positive 3 is negative 12. So far, so good. Let's slip the 2 back in. Divides evenly here. Won't divide here, so it slides forward. FOIL it. 2n squared. Check. Positive 3n and a negative 4n is going to give you a negative n, and a negative 2 times a positive 3 gives you a negative 6. So that's our answer there. Okay, number 6. 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. So I've got x squared minus 2x minus 8. So I need to get a 2 in here. So I have 4 and 2 will multiply to give me 8. If I do negative 4 times positive 2, I get negative 8. Negative 4 plus 2 gives me negative 2. So I'm going to do x minus 4 and x plus 2. Again, multiply, negative 8. Add, negative 2. I'm going to slip that 8 back in. Okay, they don't go in evenly, so I can reduce them. This is going to give me 1. This is going to give me 2. This is going to give me 1. This is going to give me 4. So I have, squeeze this in here, 2x minus 1 times 4x plus 1. 2x times 4x is 8x squared. Then I have 2x minus 4x is a minus 2x, and a negative 1 times a 1 is a negative 1. So that's it. Alrighty. Moving along. Number 9. Take a look at it. It's a little different because we have an x squared, but we also have a y squared and then an xy in here. Let's use our method. Oops. I'm getting right in 60. My brain's working faster than my hand. X squared minus 7xy. Then I'm going to get minus 60y squared. I've got 60 and 1. I've got 2 and 30. I've got 3 and 20. I've got, let's see. I've got 4 and 15. I've got, did I use 10 and 6? I've got 10 and 6. What am I missing? I got 5 and 12. And that's going to be it. So I'm going to put in a negative 12 and a positive 5. Okay, now I need to put y's in here. That's how I'm going to get this y squared back there. Because watch, x times x is going to give me x squared. X times 5y is going to give me 5xy. Then negative 12y times x is going to give me negative 12xy. And then negative 12y times positive 5y is going to give me that 60y y squared. So x squared minus 7 xy minus 60y squared, which is what I wanted to get. Okay, so now I'm going to stick the 6 back in here. Okay, now I'm going to divide this, so x minus 2y, because 12y divided by 6 is 2y. And then this is not going to reduce, so I'm going to slide that 6 forward. Okay, now let's FOIL this quickly and see if we did a good job. So x times 6x is 6x squared. That's this. Then x times 5y is 5xy. Then negative 2y times 6x is negative 12xy. And then, what do I need? Oh, then my last. Then negative 2y times a positive 5y is a negative 10y squared. Okay, combine like terms, which is these guys. So 6 squeezing it in there, minus 7, minus 10. And it is what we got in the beginning. Okay, so sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes you might have to try more than one factor. Okay, slip and slide. You have your 7 steps written at the top. So, each new problem, start with your 7 steps. Okay, go through them like a checklist. If you need to replay parts of the video, replay them. If you need to pause the video, then try one. Pause the video and try one. I want you guys to try on your own. Let's see where there's still some more room. Try 4. Try 5. And then try 2 is going to be smushy. Then try 7. So 4, 5, and 7, try on your own and bring those to class tomorrow. And don't worry if you're feeling kind of Looney Tunes. We'll figure out questions. We're going to do group problems. Don't worry. We'll answer all your questions tomorrow. Just try your best on these 3 and work through your 7 steps.